People we stop, they do carry weapons, from hammers to knives. We've even had a bag of needles swung at us from time to time. It's scary, I don't want to do it, but there's not really anybody else out there doing that, so there's no option. I mean, I'm 61 years old, I don't really go out looking for trouble, but I'm still nursing bruised ribs from rolling around the floor with an 18-year-old. It's not a difficult computation to think how many retailers there are, and to say to you quite confidently that Truro alone would lose at least £1 million worth of stock each year.
How does this make you feel as a trader?
Very frustrated. So I've had run-in, with the youths before, and I just get home and you are doing your best as a shopkeeper. I'm not working for the man. This is a family business. So you cannot but not take it personally. It's personal, it's against you.
I don't want them in there pinching, you know what I mean? So there's no point in ringing the police, because I caught somebody once breaking in here. I took him away, and as I was walking him up the rung up at home, he took out a knife. I took the knife away from him on the way down, walking him home. I took the knife away from him. The police come, they put him up against the wall, searched him. I took the knife up to the policeman, and the bloke said that's his, and they never come back no more, so better if I give him ID instead.
There's a certain amount of compassion that needs to be shown in these situations. We stop one young lady, and quite often the response can be tearful. But in this occasion, we found it to be a little bit more genuine. We sat her down, we gave her a cup of tea, and she started to explain that it wasn't us that she was worried about, it wasn't the police, it was the fact that she was actually being run by a county lines drugs gang out of Leicester. And she was being used to go into one store after another store to steal things, and the money would be fed up to them. Now the problem is because that shoplifting is allowed to go on, it makes her a valuable tool to these people, and it leads into all sorts of other abuse. So she confided in us that she had been abused physically, and even probably more scary, used to carry firearms ammunition. The reason for that being is that they like to keep someone separate with the firearm and somebody with the firearms ammunition. So unfortunately I've heard since then that she's now dead.
From my experience, I mean, like I said, we've been trading for over 40 years now, and the increase in thefts from our own premises here in the last couple of years is dramatically more than it ever has been. It's difficult to quantify, but when I have new stock come in, because we have a computerized stock system now, and you're looking at the shelf and it's empty, and the stock system is saying that you should have 2 left, then you know that you've had 2 stolen. Weekly, easily, possibly daily. It does depend a lot on the sort of people we get in, I guess.
For us, shoplifting has been something which we've seen grow year upon year, and it's taken up more and more of our time. We've had to invest in more security cameras, and we have to dedicate a lot more of our time to preventing theft. I'm fairly confident that if we weren't doing what we were doing, we would probably lose product on a daily basis.
So we've had frequent occasions in here where youths are coming around, racing around on scooters and bikes, pulling wheelies up the aisle, causing a commotion, pulling up stuff, pulling things out, literally taking things. So Justin at the top there, he had some, it's sweets and stuff like that, but it's still stuff, right?
Yeah.
And they're just taking it, knowing they can't be touched.
So do you report these incidents to the police?
No, but we do have an excellent relationship with the Rangers.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the Rangers are doing a fantastic job. And personally, I find them more effective.
Yeah.
Their presence is obvious. If there's somebody they know who is causing trouble in the town, they will follow them around mercilessly all day and give them, make their lives difficult. And it works.
Is it down the side where the river is? Yeah, sure, anyway. We've got to go.
Yeah.
All right.
So we've got Truro Rangers, which are SIA and CSAS accredited security personnel. So we normally have 2 persons on foot patrol, 5 days a week, daytime and evenings, on a rota basis. So they always appear to be on duty. And they work in conjunction with our antisocial behaviour officer, who's employed by Cornwall Council, co-funded by several partners. And the role of the antisocial behaviour officer is to engage with the individuals and, where necessary, take action. And one of the end results is a criminal behaviour order which sets conditions on the worst individuals.
There have been occasions where we've had members of staff threatened, but not myself, so a couple of instances with bottles. I've got great admiration for anybody that's prepared to put on a uniform and go out there and deal with what they have to on a daily basis. Part of my frustration with the police, from my experience in Truro, is that the communication with the community just is not there.
We do have support from the police, which we're grateful for. However, everybody's aware that the police numbers are insufficient in real terms. We'd like to see more police on our streets, and we'd like to see more intervention with the individuals that are causing the worst of the problems.
In terms of shoplifters, they break down into a number of categories. Probably the one which I think is most important for us to tackle are those that are thieving on a regular basis. A number of those will turn what they've taken from you into cash, and that cash often gets used for drug or alcohol or whatever. The thing is, if people can turn my products into ready cash within minutes, it's a bit like a cash machine. And it's that drives the problem. If people are going to buy stolen goods, it's them that really are creating the market. I'm not suggesting for a moment that what we want to do is lock up every shoplifter. What we do need to do is we need to act proportionately. We need to stop ignoring shoplifting, because it is a feeding ground from which so many horrible people will feed.
Thieves like to be invisible, so seeing and approaching customers as they come in, offering service, offering baskets, try and prevent the crime in the first place. Obviously, if a store does fall victim to a crime, they need to report it to the police. That's the starting point. Make sure the police are informed of all crime, all incidents, and then they can then investigate those crimes.
We're always concerned about safety. The problem is, as I relate it to bullying, sometimes it's okay maybe to take a slap and walk away, and that is the best response. The problem is, if you're going to repeatedly get a beating, then you have got no option but to stand your ground. So I am no advocate of advocate heroes, but I do believe it's time that retailers that can, and I'm not talking about employees, but retailers that can, do need to make a stand. Yeah, it's scary, and I fear a lot for my children. I've had members of staff go home tearful because of what they're seeing happening outside the front of the store, and it's something I wish wouldn't happen, but I'm not too sure we can easily shy away from it. There's a very well-known saying, which is for evil to prevail, it just takes a few good people to do nothing.